conspiracy theories, tomorrow's headlines. Most are still asleep and I ain't talking about no bedtime. The truth is not a Google search, you need to get your head right. The Greek goddess of illusion was called Media, and I'm not a coincidence theorist, I look for thread lines. Smashing every deadline, no longer smashing red wine. Though I can hear the bells chime, it feels like the end times. That probably should have been smashed on red wine, but the carnal mind is foolish. Obey and end up ghoulish. Don't get used by instinct, take control and learn to use it. Make a load of earnest music, earn a few quid, learn a few tricks. Sure, the truth is persecuted, this whole world is pure abusive. Know a bit about everything and everything about nothing. Figured out my noggin while you picture out shopping. You sit about watching while I dish it out, stop it. I don't mean to sound cocky, I'm not even proud of it. It's a second nature to me just to be this out honest. I don't even need to sound honest, never been about profit. Everything but out on it, you can bet your house on it. Doubt I'll be out for the count when the sounds, and I'm down for the beat, no beat down. I mean, how long's it been? Help me out. I've been the only one who's held me down. All in the mind, hell freeze now. Still sick with it, healthy how? Few bars down and the world freaked out. I don't reach out, I seek out to speak out. I'ma recount the reasons they beat out.
Hello. Welcome everybody to the 509 Divine Ponds podcast. I am your host with the most, Joseph Daniel Pena. Man, today we got a blast for you. Everywhere around the world, things are being shooken up by earthquakes, by LiDAR, by humankind providing an answer for all of our greatest questions. You know, we're seeking. Humanity is seeking. It's not just the governments, it's archaeologists who are doing self-funded research and going out into the places where nobody wants to go to, where everybody has overlooked and overstepped. And quite frankly, if we do not understand our past, there is no way we're going into the future. Longevity and health. Well, our past seemed to be living a lot longer than us. Going into space and going to the stars. Well, our ancient ancestors went to space and went to the stars. Complex language and geometry. Well, our ancestors had complex language and geometry. If we look at every aspect of our history, our ancient ancestors had more knowledge. They had flying craft. They had wonderful agriculture. They had water technologies that are better than our water right now. Currently, our oceans are plastified. Our oceans are filled with all this oil and smog. Our ancient ancestors knew how to keep things clean. Our ancient ancestors had the answers of all of our greatest questions today. And if we don't go and research how our ancient ancestors lived, operated, and figure out how their temples are still standing when we can't even build a house that lasts 200 300 years old. These days people cannot build a house that lasts a few hundred years old. Our ancient ancestors had freaking pyramids, had temples, had all these megalithic structures that weighed 50 tons, 100 tons, 600 tons, 500 tons. It's quite unbelievable, guys. If you guys could, please like, subscribe, and share. Tell everybody that this is some hot shit. All right, man. No joke. Our ancient past had all the answers, and quite frankly, if you guys are sleeping under a rock, it sucks because there is a lot. And I mean a lot of discoveries happening around the world. And it's not just some simple stuff. These are ancient technologies. These are ancient cities. These are the answers to our future. See, our ancient ancestors also knew how to survive cataclysms. They knew how to survive the flood. They knew how to survive wars. I mean, look, supposedly, I mean, from their own writings, they went off planet. And they just got out of this matrix. They went into another realm, another dimension, another planet, another solar system. That's what these tales say. And we actually see the technology mapping out, panning out right before our own eyes. Actually, it's quite fascinating to see. I've been a devout researcher my whole life, and I've I've located and personally like had visions, dreams of places that are currently being discovered. So I'm keeping this to myself because like I just don't trust a lot of people with what is going on in my own spirituality. Like there's a lot of deceivers out there who want to take good and twist it into bad. And so, you know, I can't just be like, "Oh, hey, I know where some treasure is," because I don't know if you guys have noticed, they don't like, there's a lot of organizations out there who don't like when individuals with their own money and their own time, own hands, go and research these locations and get actual treasure. We kind of get pushed back in scrutiny, and people will say, "Oh, they're onto some bullshit. It's lies. That we shouldn't be discovering it, and they're faking it." Like, fuck out of here. All right. First and foremost, you guys aren't in the dirt. You guys aren't in the pyramids. There's a lot of people out there who just don't read and don't have the knowledge. So those are the haters out here who are trying to, criticize people like Graham Hancock and the rest of the archaeologists who are out here doing hard work. Tell you what, if you try to go into these temple sites and if you try to go into these underground cities, you'll fucking trip. People will feel claustrophobic. People will get sick. People will get damaged and hurt. And quite frankly, there's a lot more disturbing things like spirits that are haunting some of these locations. Let's get into this, guys. So, this is from archaeology.com, or popular archaeology, sorry. How LiDAR is mapping undiscovered ancient cities. Entire civilizations have been sitting right under our noses for hundreds of years, hidden beneath Guatemala's dense rainforest, Cambodia's impenetrable jungle cover, Egypt's Giza site. LiDAR archaeology has completely transformed the game when it comes to locating these lost worlds. Using laser-based scanning, this technology digitally peels back layers of vegetation to expose pyramids, sprawling road systems, and massive urban complexes that conventional archaeological methods would have never caught. The University of Cambridge reports that scientists identified more than 60,000 previously unknown structures just in the Guatemala Maya Biosphere Reserve alone. And that's just Guatemala, guys. I'm talking about Peru. We're talking about Chile, Brazil, Egypt, Cambodia, all around the world. Hundreds of thousands of sites with gold, with diamonds, with crystals, with king and queen and royalty type of discoveries, guys. It's up to you to figure out and be like, well, do I want to be caught up in the trap of clubbing for the rest of my life, or can I be out there with the rest of these people discovering this? Personally, I want to lead a team of archaeologists eventually, or be a part of a team. That would be great. Getting out into nature and ancient history. Yeah, give me a shot. You're not looking at a handful of scattered ruins here. We're talking about entire interconnected civilizations across metropolitan areas that challenge everything historians believed about ancient civilizations. If they would just quit burning all the books, killing all the ancient civilizations and the native tribes, we would understand these lost civilizations. The scientific toolkit for hunting down lost cities has evolved dramatically over the last 10 years. LiDAR mapping technology works by firing millions of laser pulses at ground level from airborne platforms, then calculating how long each individual beam takes to return. Picture this: the equipment launches approximately 150,000 pulses every second towards the surface below. Some beams smack into treetops and bounce back immediately. Others slip through openings in the canopy and reflect off the actual ground level. Sophisticated computer algorithms then strip away all the vegetation data, isolating just the bare earth topography beneath. What emerges is an x-ray of the terrain, revealing every bump, depression, and man-made structure that's been buried underneath the forest for centuries. Today's laser systems can cover roughly 50 square miles in just one day. Ground teams would need years or decades to survey the same feet and same distance in air, by feet. The vertical precision hits within 4 inches, meaning you can detect incredibly subtle features like ancient farming terraces and protected fortifications. And some of these lidar systems and some of the satellite systems, like mentioned, by Filippo Bondi, who over in Spain, over in Italy. They can go down a kilometer, 1.5 kilometers, and see actual results. So think about this: they can go down thousands of feet and see the map of the Earth nowadays. So this isn't just some childish technology. This isn't just some bullshit everybody should be looking past. Like, people can't even figure out Google Maps because there's just so much crowdedness. But with this out in these archaeological sites, you actually have space to work. There's space all over. And these places, these buildings, these discoveries are far more fascinating than what Chinatown has to offer, than what LA has to offer. Many expedition teams now rely on global connectivity solutions powered by eSIM worldwide services. These solutions operate seamlessly across multiple countries without requiring physical SIM cards. This allows researchers to transmit discoveries and connect with laboratories immediately. As a result, teams can stay connected regardless of how remote their excavation sites may be. Remote sensing in archaeology has expanded far beyond simple building locations. You can now track ancient highway systems, water management infrastructure, and even the quarries where construction materials originated. So, over the last few years, I've been showing a lot of these LiDAR discoveries all across South America. It seems to me like there is a extremely close lost civilization that already had highway systems, that already had scientific buildings that match our locations today. They had agricultural properties that match and rival our system today. Some would say even better. The last 15 years of delivered discoveries that belong in pretty much a science fiction book, an adventure fiction book. What really captures the imagination, we're identifying these locations faster than research teams can examine them. So, archaeology needs archaeologists right now. And I want to put my foot forward. Guatemala's Petén region has produced the most standing revelations. Ancient cities discovered by LiDAR include enormous urban complexes linked by raised causeways. The Mirador Basin alone exposed 417 connected cities, not simple villages, but genuine urban centers with millions of people living there. Researchers discovered Oxomuntun in 2023, located in Mexico's Campeche region. Nobody even knew it existed. The site contained pyramids exceeding 50 feet in height, ball courts, residential zones extending for miles. Scientists found Ballerina near a contemporary highway in the same area, featuring 6,674 structures, including pyramids and administrative buildings. These findings indicate that populations estimate for the Maya were wildly inaccurate. The, let's just say it like this: the white people lied. The Zionists, these Freemasons, all these motherfuckers, they lied to us for the longest time. They were like, "Oh, these Indians, these tribal people were simple, stupid. They were fuck no." They've been lying to you guys, lying to us because they were trying to rewrite our history, rewrite the native land's history from all of Americas, central to south. These findings indicate the populations where research, like, it shows the 10 to 15 million people per city, maybe 20, 25 million, 50 million in some of these cities. So think about it: hundreds of millions of people, hundreds of millions of natives all across the Americas in these ancient Inca, Mayan, Aztec type temples that we look at. We're like, these guys didn't build them. The ancestors, the tribal people say, we didn't build them. They were a civilization to the gods, to the ancient. The Bible says the gods existed, you know, and it was like some of these were actual angels, some of these were angelic type cities. That's what the history says, and some of them, yes, were fallen angel like civilizations, but it wasn't just everyone was bad. The proof shows it. The proof is in the pudding, guys. Cambodia's famous Angkor Wat temple complex turns out that it was merely scratching the surface. LiDAR mapping exposed over 1,000 square kilometers of concealed infrastructure surrounding these iconic temples, entire neighborhoods, elaborate water systems, and roadways connecting dozens of temples. The scans demonstrated that Angkor Wat wasn't some isolated religious sanctuary. It was actually the nucleus of an expansive medieval city. Engineers have constructed ingenious hydraulic networks with reservoirs and channels that regulated water distribution throughout the wet and dry seasons. I'm telling you guys, ancient history is about to explode. This isn't just some child play anymore. This is real life. And if you guys want to ignore this, I'm just gonna be like, you guys don't know what's coming, man. No, people don't know what's coming. Let me go ahead and play one of these uh videos right here, just so you can see what we're talking about. So this is out from Pillars of the Past. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. The audio isn't playing. Let me go ahead and get you the audio. Not too sure why I didn't want to do that. You know how that YouTube is sometimes.
With the Ministry of Culture yet. Unbelievable. Stairs leading here. Look how buried this is. Increíble. This site has not been excavated. At all.
Welcome to Pillars of the Past.
All right, what I'm gonna do is get that video loaded proper. It seems to be glitching out. It's all right. It happens. Now, let's get back to this news piece before we get lost, right? Now, this LiDAR technology, this ancient civilization technology, it's worldwide right now. Seemingly, everybody is focused. Like a lot of the high level thinkers around the world right now are focused. Like it seems COVID kind of dimmed out the world and made us like give up. A lot of people give up, right? But the rest of us thinkers are like, hold on. There's more to the world. Like we can't just be trapped in a illness and vaccine and like lockdown type of cycle, you know. And when we look at the ancient civilizations, they understood cycles. They understood star cycles, yuga cycles, life and death cycles. And this LiDAR technology over the next 10 years is going to help us understand everything that we need to know. This solid state LiDAR market is going to exceed about 14 billion by 2035. So it's projected to just keep on rising. Over the last 5 to 10 years, I've seen a huge boom over all the nations to archaeologists to actual government officials and military. They're all going into this lidar technology to look at history and to actually figure out what is beneath our feet. I know Mexico recently started building a whole bunch of lidar satellites. They're pouring into a huge facility of production. It's an amazing thing right now. What's happening around the world? I'm extremely excited. That's just me personally. I love this stuff. Archeology.com. Excuse me. So, what we got, let's go ahead, bring it up. This is from Archaeology Magazine by Daniel Weiss. A magical mystery door. An investigation of an Egyptian sacred portal reveals a history of renovation and deception. So, this right here, this limestone stela, a false door that served as a portal between a tomb and the afterlife, was used in the tomb by a woman named Hemi Ra, who lived during Egypt's first intermediate period. Recently, the study of the artifact suggests it was altered both in antiquity and in modern times. So, when we look at the ancient past, they had stargates like this. There was even more so of different looks. So, depending on the culture, they would um they would put their own markings, engravings, writings around it, worship to deities or worship to gods or worship to the stars or even understanding of science itself. They would write up right on their wall. And sometimes we would see some of these cultures later on not understand the technology but try to recreate it. We see like in the Incan highlands, we see for sure we see an ancient lost long civilization from about like 20,000 years ago, and we see their 10-ton stones. Then what we see is a recreation or another civilization that tries to recreate and patch up the stones from about I don't know, let's just say 5,000 years ago. And then we seen the Incan a few thousand or even a few hundred years ago try to patch up and do their type of artwork and style. So every civilization tries to recreate and reenact what their ancestors did, uh but they just didn't understand technology. And so sometimes, as we see even with some of the Great Pyramid, there's just been rollers who have been like, oh yeah, this is mine, and well, we created this, don't worry about any of that, don't worry about any of that older stuff, no, don't worry about it. And so a lot of times we shall not be distracted by um what some of these lesser technologies and lesser archaeological discoveries have to do with the actual truth of the ancients. Sometimes people just didn't have the gusto to produce actual ancient technology like their ancestors, so they just mimicked it, and they didn't have the science, they didn't have the magic down. And I think that they also lost the giants. They lost the actual connection to the metaphysical beings like Hercules, like Zeus, like Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel. When these flesh and blood beings were walking along the earth, these technologies and these sites were popular. These type of remnants, the remnants of these type of structures are all around the world. um and it's amazing to see how each each civilization has their own little markings, own little styles and stories. All around the world right now, we need to be giving more respect to our ancient past. People have lost their connection to the stars, or lost their connection to spirit, and lost connection to history. And if we keep on going this way that we're going with let's focus on the Kardashians and butt implants, and I need a party and club every weekend to get drunk, and if I'm it I need to go to Coachella, and I need to go to Burning Man, and fuck out of here. You need to get a life. Okay? We need to understand what our ancient civilizations were telling us. They knew better. They lived longer. They lived happier, more peaceful. There, yes, war is everywhere, but it's not in their nature. A lot of these cultures didn't have that within their spirit. They wanted peace, tranquility. It seems like a lot of people these days, they drive around wanting to fight, wanting to shoot guns, wanting to cause drama with their girlfriend, beat them up, and get into gangs and get into bullshit. Like, people are lost. People are lost. I swear, people are so lost. The gang situation all around the world, they're fed. Like, these kids are retarded. These kids are absolutely retarded. And the feds created this goddamn, let's just say it like this, the Fed and the devil and these dark agencies, these dark cults from ancient times, they're the ones creating the gangs. So it's like dumbass kids who are following dark paths because they don't just research. They don't. I know it sounds so simple. I fucking read books as a kid. I read books that led me into like a lot of smarter shit. And, prolonged life, looking better, feeling happier. You look around the world, these ancient cultures. Let's just say it like this: the people out down there in the south, they chew coke, and then going to Peru, going into the Brazil and all this. Like, they're living peaceful. They have their fruits. They're thriving. They have their meditation, their spirituality. People are worried about this aggressive lifestyle that the America has trapped the world into. I think our ancient ancestors lived a lot better, a lot happier than what these white Masonic societies want you to think. They want you to think these guys were at war every day. They lived poor. They were slaves. They didn't know shit. They came from caveman. No, all wrong. It's all wrong. It's Tell you what, our ancient ancestors weren't addicted to pills. They weren't addicted to alcohol. But that's another time for another story, right? Let's get back to this. Now, we're gonna keep on going. So, the Ugarit archives from Archaeology magazine, thousands of cuneiform tablets written in a distinctive script tell the dramatic story of a Bronze Age merchant. So, like I said, new discoveries are here every day. We archaeologists and historians and researchers are really shining light on some powerful things. And it's not just like, oh, this one tablet says this person was a god and we need to figure it out. And no, it's more like, okay, let's think for 2 seconds. 1 second. These guys had some intelligence, creativity. What did they understand? Second question is, these are the type of energies and knowledge basins that they were researching. This is how they got to those higher levels. We need to research those higher knowledge basins. Ether, quantum physics, and quite frankly, like astrology and astronomy seem to be a very important language of the ancient past. It's also in the Bible. Astrology and astronomy is in the Bible. When these three magi were following the fucking North Star or the Star of Bethlehem. They were following a star. That's astrology. People need to understand this. Like, there's a long lost language of why they built their temples in the way that they did, like the Pyramid of Giza, dedicated to the star system Orion, and the rest of these temple sites dedicated to star systems. Matt LaCroix talks about Cosmodrome, or like these ancients built their cities in the shape of the star systems that they said that they and their ancestors came from through the stargates. Now, the stargates are there, the star systems are there. The proof of these temple sites are showing that they're directly related to the star system. These tablets are telling us that they're from the star systems. Now, why aren't we going there? Oh, wait, Elon Musk is. So a lot of these elites are trying to follow the ancient footsteps of our ancient ancestors and take us to the places where our ancient ancestors told us they were from. Do you get it? So these things are very important, not just to locals and rituals and beliefs. These things are very important because they tell us how to get off of this world. They tell us how to have a prolonged life. In the Book of Enoch and these other, let's just say, ancient stories, biblical stories, they say that they're guided by angels as they're living humans and walked into a higher dimension, a higher heaven, higher planet, and given prolonged life, immortality in a sense, or let's just say a longer life. What if we figure out that, and we figure out like how to connect with the angels again, connect with God and Yahweh, and connect with Jesus Christ, or connect to any other type of extra dimensional ability that these sites provide us, like the Temple of Malta healing us, like Stonehenge and the Pyramid of Giza, and all these different sites that the ancestors say that when you activate a certain rhythm and certain energy there, you will feel things. You will experience other dimensional experiences in it, to lack better words. So all around the world right now is lost cities and lost technology that is very important. Another one from Archaeology Magazine by Jarrett Lobel and Eric Powell, Lost Tombs. So I'm just showing you little highlights of where you can then take your own research, right? What we know right now. Oh my God. My computer screen just went off. It's all right. Turn it back on. What we know right now is that these things are not a lie necessarily. Oh, okay. When we look at this, great. It's like these ancient, let's just say ancient gods. These some of them would be fallen angels, some of them would be angels, and some of them would be good, right, or bad, whichever way you call it. They understood the star system from up here. They had all their energies around them. Like, they understood dimensions. They understood water, fire, space, earth. And it seems like a lot of times that they're pointing out in these hieroglyphs and in these structures that they created us. They gave us intelligence. They gave us wisdom, that they crafted us like little genetic pets, little genetic species. When we look back 200,000 years ago in our actual genome structure, we see the God particle being created. Before that, the Neanderthals and then these other hominids didn't have the gene that is known today as the God gene, of the God worshiping gene, the VMAT2 gene, where like worship and pleasure and or pleasure of worship or benefit of worship. I don't understand it necessarily as far as how these genome expressions dial in traits, but I understand them that they do. Um, so like prayer and believing of a higher power, it shows in our gene expressions in the VMAT2 gene, which would relate to the stories and scriptures and hieroglyphs of these ancient ancestors birthing our civilization with knowledge. Sometimes the pine cone's present, sometimes things like this are present, where we are the small little human, and those are the gods, like babying us. Um, it seems like they're telling us a lot in these hieroglyphs, and I'll be honest, all throughout the world, we are barely rediscovering what the ancient lost languages are. So people want to get rich, people want to feel better, happier, and people want to protect their family. Guess what? Study this ancient archaeology, because it seems like they knew spells and how to protection spells. They knew how to protect their properties through quartz crystals or actual defensive structures like star cities and star forts. If you guys don't know what star forts are, go look at star forts. It seems like our our knights and all of them try to steal them and try to protect their kings and queens through them from ancient structures, um all around the world right now. And I mean this, all around the world right now are discoveries waiting for us to find them. Here's another archaeology, it doesn't say our AS archaeology. Let's see. Oh, wait. Archaeology USA online newspaper. Archaeologists find evidence in Pompeii of an automatic weapon used more than 2,000 years ago. Marks on the city walls reveal the use of polybus, a kind of dart-firing machine gun whose physical remains had never been found before. So the dart-firing machine gun. So what do they call it? An automatic crossbow. Holy shit! So the automatic crossbow has been found that dates back to 89 BC. So imagine that they had guns. These guys had guns, dart guns, firing guns. The weapon used a system of gears and a chain mechanism to load darts automatically and fire them in bursts. In practice, it operated like a modern machine gun. So guess what? Guess what I just saw recently? It was I should have saved it, but it was an archaeological site showing a bullet from that was stuck in amber that was approximately thousands of years old. Oh man. Until now, the only evidence of this machine came from the writings of a Greek engineer, Philo of Byzantium, dating back to the 3rd century BC. Thanks to the Pompeii discovery, archaeologists were able to compare these texts with the impact marks and create a virtual 3D construction to show exactly what the pylobus looked like. The discovery also opens the door to searching for familiar traces in other fortifications in the same area. So, ancient machine gun. This is how it looked. That's actually real sick. So they would keep the bolts loaded, and this thing would be firing bolts, let's just say, I don't know, 30, 40 per minute, I'm guessing. I don't know, just from looking. Oh shit. Oh shit. Imagine, guys. Our ancient past had way more understanding than anyone could ever imagine. Next up from Aram Online. A sacred basin in the sand, Pelusium's water temple rewrites history. After 6 years of excavation at Tel Arafaram in North Sinai, archaeologists have uncovered a rare water central ritual complex dedicated to the deity Pelusius. reshaping long-held assumptions about the ancient city of Pelusium and its role in antiquity. After 6 years of excavation, a mission from Egypt's Supreme Council of Antiquities has revealed a structure unlike any previously identified temple. The newly uncovered remains point to a sacred installation devoted to water rituals, challenging earlier interpretations of the site and opening a new chapter in understanding Pelusium's historical role. Minister of Tourism and Antiquities Sheriff Fadi described the discovery as a testament to the archaeological richness of North Sinai, emphasizing that the region continues to hold vast untapped potential. He added that the sustained excavation efforts and rigorous scientific research remain essential to deepening historical knowledge and advanced academic inquiry. So, our ancient ancestors had better water systems than we do, knew how to keep them cleaner, knew how to provide water to the whole nation. And some of these, just like how Pillars of the Past showed in some of his videos, some of these water sites, the ancient water sites, are still being used. So this is how it looks. This is interesting. When we look at Egypt or Africa in general, we see remnants of water basins and water technologies all around. And Egypt was once a green place, or like Africa. Africa was used to be green, but now it's just seemingly a lot of dry desert areas. They lost their ability to store water because they lost the knowledge of their ancestors. Next up, the Roman Empire. Roman camp on the roof of the Alps. So hidden high in the Alps recently was found a Roman military camp. For nearly 2,000 years, this site remained hidden, blending into a rugged terrain. Now that it's been rediscovered, it forces us to rethink how the Roman legion operated, especially in extreme environments. This wasn't just a camp, it was a statement of power. 3 defensive ditches, a structured rampart, clear signs of an organized military layout. At an altitude of roughly 2,200 meters, the discovery of this Roman camp is remarkable. Using LiDAR technology, this was discovered. This wasn't an improvised shelter thrown by exhausted troops. It was a carefully planned encampment constructed according to Roman military standards, even in one of the harshest environments imaginable. From this elevated point, Roman soldiers had a commanding view over several valleys and mountain routes below. Anyone moving through the area, like traders, travelers, or enemies, would have been visible from a distance. This was surveillance, control, and strategic dominance built into the very geography of the Alps. Well, roughly 900 meters downhill lies an ancient battlefield dated to around 15 BC, when Emperor Augustus launched campaigns to subdue the Alpine tribes and secure Rome's northern frontier. For years, the battlefield was studied in isolation. Archaeologists found weapons, projectiles, and traces of violent conflict, but the broader context remained unclear. Now, with the discovery of this Roman camp above, everything falls into place. The battlefield marks the clash, the camp marks the control. This suggests a coordinated Roman military operation. It's a classic Roman approach: fight, secure, and dominate. But there are more than just weapons, there are identifiers. Stamped ammunition allowed historians to trace where units were present, linking the camp and the battlefield to specific elements of the Roman army. Hobnails from legionary boots, arrowheads scattered across the terrain, fragments of military equipment, these stinky ass shoes. Individually, these might seem significant, but if you piece it together, you can see how and where they moved, how they thought and operated. To understand why Rome went to such lengths, you have to look beyond the mountains themselves. The Alps were a strategic gateway. Control the Alpine passes, and you control movement between Italy and the rest of Europe. Trade routes, military campaigns, and Rome and communication networks all depend on the narrow corridors through the mountains. For Augustus, securing the Alps was not optional. The camp at Col La Runga fits perfectly into this strategy. It represents a point of oversight, a place from which Roman forces could monitor, respond, and maintain dominance. This wasn't just about winning battles, it was about controlling the map. At over 2,000 meters above sea level, conditions are harsh today. These Roman soldiers were wearing heavy armor, carrying equipment and supplies, building fortifications from scratch, and they still lost because the Romans tried to take over the world. Next up, here's from Heritage Daily. LiDAR reveals lost ancient landscape in Andean Chaco. Deep beneath the rainforest of the Andean Chaco, LiDAR is proving that these places are far more magical. The discovery follows an archaeological investigation carried out in December 2025 by the Metropolitan Institute of Heritage in the commune of San Francisco del Pachiral in the parish of Pacto. The project aimed to document and protect cultural heritage in the Andean Chaco, a region whose steep terrain and dense jungle have long limited conventional archaeological survey. So all around the world, there's still places that people cannot even walk to, but this LiDAR can. What initially appeared to be a modest archaeological zone of 40 mounds and 10 terraces was transformed by the technology. Analysis of the data revealed more than 200 mounds and over 100 terraces spread across an area of roughly 600 hectares. This is particularly striking because the surveyed zone represents only about 2% of the Andean Chaco. Whoa! So think about it like this: only 1% of the whole world is literally discovered through LiDAR technology. Like 90, more than 90% of the world is hidden underneath our feet until now. And I mean that. Pretty Al vibes. Hello, hello. Nice to see you in here. Thank you for being here. According to IMP results, archaeologist Juan Gijon, the structure shows clear evidence of deliberate human modification of the environment. Circular and rectangular constructions, interconnected by ancient roads, suggested a careful, planned settlement. Fieldwork also uncovered a sunken rectangular structure near the San Francisco River that resembles architectural elements found at the Tulipe Archaeological Complex in nearby Guala and Nagalito, points to advanced hydraulic knowledge among the area's former inhabitants. Based on associated material culture, specialists have attributed the remains to the Yombo culture, a pre-Hispanic society known in the Andes. Man, this is amazing stuff. I am beyond fascinated by this LiDAR. LiDAR survey leads to unexpected castle discovery. A previously unknown medieval castle has been found in Thargour, Switzerland, following LiDAR mapping. The castle was identified in the Tobele area while searching for distinctive terrain features, revealing two small plateaus surrounded by steep defensive ditches. According to archaeologists, these are typical characteristics of Mott and Bailey castles, an early form of medieval castle construction. Across 10th century and upward, spreading from Normandy to Anjou and France, they consisted of two main elements: a motte and one or more baileys. A motte is an artificial earth mound crowned by a wooden or stone keep, and a bailey is a fortified courtyard style enclosure built beneath the motte. Upon identifying the features of the LiDAR maps, the Thurgo Cantonal Archaeology Office conducted an authorized survey and unearthed a small ceramic shard, several iron objects, and 3 medieval arrowheads. According to the written historical sources, a castle at Tobeli was discovered in 1079 during a conflict between Abbot Eckord II of Ruchenal and Abbot Ulrich III of St. Gallen. Although it was later reconstructed by the lords of Ittingen, The location was never specified in contemporary texts. Archaeologists have debated the true location of Ittengin's stronghold, focusing on 3 possible sites. The Cruise Book Castle Mound in Warthwinningen, I don't know if I said that right, the grounds of Ittenbing Charterhouse, and now Tobeli. A 1152 papal documents adds further mystery, which grants the Eden brothers permission to build a monastery on their castle, suggesting that at least part of the medieval fortifications once stood where the charter house sits today. So it's not just these ancient Peruvian or Egyptian sites that are being discovered, it's also medieval castles all around the world, I'm telling you. And I bet here in Washington State, where I'm at, there are so much discoveries right beneath our feet, guys. I, I'm I'm literally shook as far as oops, sorry about that. Let me go ahead and get these videos for you. Let me come back with a commercial and play this Project Unity and play this Pillars of the Past video footage. So I just talked to you about how much this LiDAR technology is discovering, but now let's go and see with our own eyes some of these sites.
Not new, what I do. I've been at it for a minute, pursuing, doing the damage. New, I would do everything that I said I would do. I gotta have it, so goddamn it, I'ma be everything I plan to be. Glad to see money coming my way, believe I'll achieve anything I put my mind to, or at least I try to. I'm avoiding my doom, manifesting my room. Meditate to ease the flow, third eye open, see the golden energy. It can enter me, get me to feeling full, forget my enemies. Dead to me, yeah, I proceed to go to a new dimension. Gotta mention it's inside a soul. Go inside, fuck the outside, never tell lies, show pride for belief. Gotta keep the range wide, so instead I just write another hit, getting fried, rolling up, smoke another blunt for the good times, bad times makes for the good rhymes, so it never matters. I just learned, no, I can't hide. Thank God for every second was birthed with the mind of an ancient soul who's just waiting for the next sign. I'm always watching, vision like a hawk, have 'em flocking. When I drop it, I'm talking, have 'em knocking. The knowledge that I'm dropping, I'm coming out the noggin, I'm logged in. That's the intuition, nothing wrong with doing what you feel is right. Everybody got this. Usually feel it in the night when I'm dropping knowledge. Never even needed any college, abolish people telling people what they want. I do not wish control over anybody, do it for the profit. That's the reason that they push it, do it from the cockpit. Cause they got the money, want the money on the mob shit. On the mob shit, but I know they ain't gon' make it, shit is poppin'. At the end of time, new age topics. Revolutionary crusade cross, we go to a new space. Yeah, we enter in a new place. Louis V on my shoelace, rolling with the blue face. Yeah, I'm wondering what you chase. Just another dude caught up in the rat race. Moving my pace, lot of people looking at me sideways. I chase future preparations, gotta go through my face till I feel ready to rearrange it. Happen on a daily basis, tripping oasis. When so many people that I can't see through their faces and touch, so I'm reading minds, feel like I'm evasive, persuasive. Cause I feel the vibe, manipulation, I'm patient. Yeah, I feel the vibe, then work to change it. Manifestation, blessings is what I'm chasing. Quantum physics, I'm about to take the time and rearrange it. I play with reality, can't feel like I'm basic. Most people shut it down, don't wanna embrace it. Replacing knowledge.
All right, here you go. Check this out, guys.
This site is not registered with the Ministry of Culture yet. Unbelievable. These are stairs leading here. 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 Look how buried this is. Increíble. This site has not been excavated at all.
Welcome to Pillars of the Past. So this all started when I saw a post in an archaeological group on Facebook. There were pictures of a site I had never seen before, and it had what appeared to be megalithic architecture. This was the only, and I mean only, documentation of this site in existence. And I know that because I scoured Google Earth from putting together context clues from the post, and I found what I believe is the archaeological site. So I cross-referenced it with Peru's official database of ancient archaeological sites, and as you can see, it's not identified. And just for reference, when you use the database, this is what archaeological sites look like that have been identified. Now that I knew where a viable path, so I reached out to one of the people the post said was responsible for taking these pictures, and I was able to get in touch with Romulo, who said if I made it to Huánuco, he would take me to the site. And that was a journey in and of itself.
Exactly what I did not want to have happen. It is going to be pitch black soon, and these roads, it's half mud, half like just terrible, absolutely terrible. I mean, you can't see the side of the road, but you know a cliff is there. Fortunately, there's a car in front of me, and I keep trying to stay behind him to see his tail lights. So
Jorge Calero is the guy that's heading.
Fortunately, I made it through that nightmare, and I was able to meet Romulo, who it turns out has a much deeper connection to this place than I had previously known.
Soy expresidente de la comunidad de Chaulán.
Sí, sí, sí.
Yo soy expresidente de la comunidad del distrito San Pedro Chaulán. Yo te voy a acompañar, porque te vas a perder. Vamos, yo conozco. Ahorita que vamos a ir por la zona, hay familias pobres. Sí, hay gente necesitada. Por acá también, más arriba, por la vuelta, hay una pequeña mina también.
Sí, ¿de qué?
Desconocemos también, según dice que hay cobre, un poco de plata. Y entonces eso están sacando una empresa así informal. Claro, la mina, ¿qué pasa? Todos los pobladores de acá de la zona que son como se llama, zonas afectadas, ¿no? Entonces, como son zonas afectadas, lo primero que deben de ser beneficiarios son ellos.
Son ellos, sí.
Son ellos, ¿no? Por decir, por acá hay.
Pero ahora no
ancianas,
está beneficiado.
no se beneficia.
Sitio del Ministerio de Cultura, no puede ver ese sitio.
No hay.
¿Por qué?
¿Por qué? Porque el gobierno regional, ellos tienen un área de instituto de cultura, no invierten, no, al menos no para explorar, no hay así retos arqueológicos. Hay presupuesto, pero robo, de todo intentan robar nomás.
Pero no es registrado.
No registran. ¿Por qué? Porque con la corrupción, amigo. Sí. ¿A dónde estacionamos? Espérate para acá. Espérate. Allá nos estacionamos, allá. Ahí nos estacionamos.
No culpas.
Ya, ahora sí, caminar ahora de acá. Caminar.
Yeah. This is unreal. I was right. This this site we're going to, it is not registered with the Ministry of Culture. The townspeople have been trying to get the Ministry of Culture to come give attention to it. It's megalithic. It's in the middle of the Ancash region. Difficult as hell to get to. This morning we set out on this excursion to come document the site. ¿Tú recuerdas el camino así?
He caminado, no mucho, pero de acá se contacta con otro pueblo también. Si iríamos por esa vía para llegar a Huánuco, sería más corto. Ya por acá ya no tenemos a ambos ya.
Sí.
O sea, por acá yendo salimos a ambos.
A ambos.
Tampoco ellos pueden sacar sus productos de acá.
Sí.
¿Cómo ellos pueden llevar sus productos de acá?
It's unreal.
Y los pobladores del mismo Chaulán no conocen este lugar.
No conozcan.
No conocen. Yo soy una de las personas que he publicado en mi Facebook, comenta cómo se llama uno que ha sido, ¿cómo se llama? El director de Instituto Nacional de Cultura en Huánuco.
¿Y dijiste qué?
Él ha ocupado cargo en Huánuco y él de Chaulán. Y en mi publicación comenta, pues él, ¿no? De que está abandonado por parte de las autoridades, ¿no?
Y quieres atención del Ministerio de Cultura, ¿no?
Claro, pero debería tener, pero él ha ocupado un cargo. Te ayudo a llevar tu mochila.
No, está bien, está bien.
Yo camino, cargo, ¿ah?
Sí, gracias. Cuando regresamos. ¿Por qué se encontró la locación? ¿Qué estás haciendo?
Yo vine a visitar y después tuve que irme caminando para otro pueblo, como no hay carretera,
Ajá.
¿no? Entonces en ese camino encontré el potrero.
Wow. Oye, tiene que sacar un cosita.
Yo cargo.
¿Sí?
Sí, yo cargo.
¿Sí?
Sí, yo cargo.
¿Quieres ese?
También.
No, está bien. So, Romulo was kind enough to carry my bag. He insisted. This is incredible. Mira, eso es un camino. Aquí.
Sí.
Look at these are stairs. These are stairs leading here.
Acá trasladan sus productos, papas, sus
Sí.
animales, el lomo de animales, tienen que traer por acá para que puedan vender, ¿no?
Increíble. This is unreal. Hay gente ahí.
Aquí parece que han venido algunos alumnos, creo, a visitar.
¿Alumnos de qué?
De un colegio, no sé de qué parte han venido, pero de acá de la zona. Pues.
So, some of the townspeople come and visit.
Más antes, no. Parece que ahora
Ya saben.
ya saben, creo, ya al menos ya saben. Y
¿Quién se da el nombre de ese sitio?
de acá los pobladores.
Ah,
Los pobladores de Rangas, ellos ya conocen ya como potrero.
¿qué significa?
Esto significa, de repente ese era un lugar como centro de acopio, ¿no? que de repente de acá trasladaban productos a destinos de Guam o algo así, ¿no? Como, como un centro de la
Un centro. Ah, yeah.
pequeña postrero, ¿no?
Look at this. Buenos días.
This is the first of 3 distinct and separate construction methods I believe are present here at the site.
No sé si era ahí. Pero me piensa que era ahí. This looks like a channel here. Para agua. Mira este lugar. Megalithic stairs here. This site has not been excavated at all.
I believe the megalithic construction here was likely the principal or central structure when it was first occupied.
This is megalithic construction, and it's old. It's old. Look at that.
Me comentaba un profesor de historia, ya uno viejo, ¿no? De que como los incas cortaban, por decir, las piedras. Hay una posición en la cual, por decir, en esta zona existe acacluy. Acacluy es un ave.
Acacluy?
Sí, es un ave, ¿no? Que es el único ave que conoce de repente alguna planta, ¿no?
El planta, sí, el planta de pito.
Claro, algo, ¿no? Que de repente, ¿cómo se llama? Que ponen las piedras y las suaviza y ellos aprovechan ese hueco. Y de repente los incas también, ¿no? Entonces, de repente los incas también conocían de repente esa planta, ¿no?
Sí.
Y entonces aprovechan eso para hacer su tallado de sus piedras, pues. Porque si no, ¿cómo se supone que cómo tallaban sus piedras ellos? Si en esa época no había cincel,
sí,
no había fierro, no había pues ni combas, nada, ¿no?
I got excited when Romulo began talking about the bird and the plant, as it's a story I'm very familiar with, and it is almost verbatim with what explorers like Percy Fawcett and some of the Spanish chroniclers wrote in their accounts.
Oye, dice ir más abajo.
Sí, claro, de hecho.
And this goes further too, you can see.
It almost seems like some of the construction here got shaken up and the stones got disassembled, as you can see these filler stones placed in some of the gaps, kind of like what you see in Cuzco.
Porque eso está aquí primero.
Claro, mira esa construcción, ¿no?
Es increíble.
Mira.
Oye, mira eso.
Entonces, mira, esta es la parte de un molino. Esta piedra es parte de una fracción de un molino. Con la fuerza del agua, con la fuerza del agua giraban.
Oh, wow.
Giraban, y entonces se ve que como se llama, como la zona siempre, esta zona siempre ha sido zona minera. Se supone que ellos no clasificaban los minerales y molían pues acá. Y se ve un canal que entra desde hacia
sí,
arriba,
sí,
abajo,
sí.
¿no? No sabemos. ¿Ah? Oye, mira, esas construcciones, ¿no? Mira.
Sí. Hay que caminar aquí, sí.
Sí. Mira, ¿ves?
Oh, mira eso.
Este es
Claro, que se supone que acá había fundición, parece.
Me voy adentro.
Y esta es una chimenea, creo.
Which adds another layer of construction to things, this time by the Spanish, because these types of constructions were not being built by the people of the Andes.
Y esta es una chimenea y tiene salida para arriba.
Look at this. This site is not registered with the Ministry of Culture yet. Unbelievable. Increíble, Rómulo. Increíble.
Claro, pues cuando llegan los españoles ya saquean todo esto, pues. Todo el oro, todo el mineral se llevan pues los españoles. Ese horno tiene un ducto de salida.
Ese.
Para acá, y esto ha sido pues algo grande ha sido, por eso hay ductos grandes, chimeneas grandes, mira. Esta también es una chimenea.
Sí. Oye, pero mira este aquí en el centro. Look at this in the middle. Hay una cosa especial de esa piedra. Es en el centro.
Sí, o sea que parece que también ellos controlaban lo que es de la naturaleza, ¿no?
Sí, el tiempo, las fechas.
Este era pues se supone que era un templo importante también.
Sí.
Ya, y de hecho acá también pues habían pues autoridades con alto rango.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Getting to El Potrero was no picnic, but the effort was rewarded with incredible beauty, with friendship, and the only video footage that exists of this ancient site. Huge thanks to Romulo for his unbelievable insights, for his desire to have this place recognized, and above all else, for taking the time to take me there. It's hard to believe that this site still remains unregistered, unrecognized, not a survey or anything, and you can cross-reference that. So if there's anyone from the Ministry of Culture watching, or if you know anybody, maybe send this video to them and something can be done. It's clearly worthy of investigation, excavation, and definitely deserves to be placed on the official registry of archaeological sites. I will say that the feeling I got from this site was that it was eventually completely abandoned and taken over by the Spanish. I mean, I don't think anybody was living there or staying there for any sort of extended period of time. I didn't find a single pottery sherd at this location, and that's pretty abnormal. But then again, there were several places at this site where it was pretty clear that there's architecture buried under the surface. So who knows, if archaeologists make it out there and find artifacts or remains, we might be able to get some dates on when it was first occupied. I also have to take a moment to just thank Romulo once again, because this excursion to this particular site, well, it fulfilled a personal dream of mine, which was to document an unregistered megalithic site. And thank you, Romulo. But also thank you to all of you who are watching this, because you helped make it happen. Without your support, without people donating to the GoFundMe.
Oh, I love it when things come out about the Giza Plateau. Professor Filippo
Bionde, a satellite radar specialist with a background in radar with the Italian government, sat down with Matt Beale and stated that he had found a second Great Sphinx on Giza, buried beneath a 180-foot mound of compacted sand on the plateau. Horizontal passageways extending from deeper underground sections both show shafts that are descending down to depth. They both show horizontal tunnel systems extending outward, and they both show the same geometric internal arrangement. So what I was told quietly in Malta when I was with Filippo Bionde